All right, let me go ahead and apologize now just in case you can hear all of that sanding that's going on in the background. This first problem here has to do with the fact that when you have a circle and you have two central angles that are congruent to each other, like ABE and DAE, that means that the arcs are also congruent. And if the arcs are congruent, the chords are congruent. So what you're supposed to do in this particular problem here is solve for x. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to set each equation equal to each other. And then solve for x. So that means I'm going to subtract x from both sides, giving me 2x minus 24 equals 10. Then I'm going to add 24 to both sides, divide by 2. So in this case, x is equal to 17. And again, the chords were congruent because the arcs that they intercept were congruent. Okay, so my next question here, I have a circle and it says that FH is tangent to the circle. And the reason that that's important is because since it is tangent, that means the tangent and the radius form a right triangle. So what that means here is that r squared plus 35 squared, because you have your right triangle a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And c in this case is this whole hypotenuse. So that's going to be equal to r plus 25 squared. So the first thing you have to do is you have to multiply the r plus 25 squared out. So that's going to be r plus 25 times r plus 25. So that's going to give me r squared plus 50r plus 625 when you multiply all of that out. And over here I still have r squared plus, and in this case it's going to be 35 squared, and 35 squared is going to be equal to 1225. Alright, so now I'm ready to solve. Well, the first thing you'll notice is when I do minus r squared, those will simply just cancel out, leaving me with 1225 equals 50r plus 625. So now I want to take my 1225 and subtract 625, leaving me with 600 equals 50r. So when I divide by 50, I get r is equal to 12. So your radius is equal to 12. On this next problem, we have a situation. It tells me that T, we circle T, so this is the center of my circle. RP and QS are diameters. That's important to know. The measure of these angles are congruent, which actually makes the measure of these arcs congruent to one another as well. So it says here that TRQ is 12 degrees less than RTS. So if this was X, then this would be X minus 12. Now, what we want to do is, the first thing we want to do is solve for x. And in fact, since these two angles, since arc RS and arc QP, they'll actually be congruent and both of them are equal to x. What I want to use is the idea that since this is a diameter, that means that this half a circle is equal to 180. So that's x plus x minus 12 is equal to 180. And then we want to solve the equation. So 2x minus 12 is equal to 180. I'm going to add 12 to the other side, and that's going to give me 192. And then I'm going to solve for x by dividing that by 2. So x is equal to 96. So since x is equal to 96 and arc RS is the same as QP, that means that arc QP is also equal to 96 degrees. Okay, so on this next problem here, it says, what is the measure of the length of ZY in order for ZY to be the tangent? So again, if it's tangent, that means that this is congruent, or this is perpendicular. So ZY squared plus ZX, or I'm sorry, not ZX, but erase that. Grab the pen, grab that. Okay, plus xy squared is equal to zx squared. So if that line's tangent, then it forms a right triangle. All right, what we do know is we know this length here from x to y is 8, and that's because this distance is 8. And those are both radii within the circle, so they're both equal to 8. So we do not know zy, so zy squared plus, we do know the length of xy, that's 8. So 8 squared is equal to, and then zx is this entire length here, which is 17 squared. So zy squared plus 64 is equal to 17 squared, which is 289. So zy squared is going to be that 289 minus the 64, which is 225. So zy would have to equal 15 in order for that line to be tangent, and then you'd have a right triangle. Oh, and that was the last problem that you missed. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this document and send it to you as well as the video. So I hope this was helpful for you, and later this evening I'll send you a link to a Skype session tomorrow morning.